Hi there, this is Danny with End Time Country Living, and in this video I am out getting some transplant solution put on my transplants out here so that the root growth will get established quickly and that they will form relationships with the bacteria in the soil so that they can start feeding themselves and growing and taking off. So I wanted to show you how I'm doing that. So I got my trusty 5-gallon bucket out here. I got a watering can. I'm going to be putting in the solution here some this is just regular molasses. Did not come in this bottle. I got it in the 3-gallon jugs or buckets from Agricultural Supply. And then also I'm going to put in some linardite, which will known as chelate the minerals that are both in the molasses and the other items that I will be putting in there. So what that does is change the minerals to a reduced form where the plants can absorb them and make use of them, and also the biology more easily. If they're oxidized, which is kind of like saying you have like iron that would be rusted. So the reduced form is the opposite of that. It's putting it into a form that's lacking oxygen. It's kind of removing the oxygen from the state that the mineral is in. There's different states. And so we want to get it in the right form that the plants can readily use. So I'm going to put in some linardite, which has humic acid in it, and that humic acid will convert minerals into reduced form. It's a little bit complicated, but and also some Himalayan salt, and this has a lot of just a wide spectrum of minerals in there. So we want to make sure that the plants have lots of minerals readily available to them when they're first starting out. And also we're going to putting in some powdered kelp. And so this was granular kelp that I blended into a powder. And so we'll be mixing some of that in there too. So that provides minerals as well. Has a wide variety of minerals in there because it comes from the sea and absorbs all those minerals in. So there's that. And then it also is a cytokinin, which is a plant hormone that the roots produce and also promotes root growth. And so that's the stage of the plant that they are now, just going in the ground. They need a lot of root development right now rather than trying to grow, lots of nitrogen or something, or auxins would be the opposite. Auxins are the hormone that promotes vegetative growth for the leaves and such. And so we want to promote root growth right here, get a good foundation, make sure that they're able to get the water they need and the minerals, and then they will transition into more vegetative growth here fairly shortly once they get established. So I have a 2-gallon watering can here, and rather than mixing it all up in the watering can several times, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 times, to get all my plants done, I'm going to go ahead and just do it in a 5-gallon bucket. So that gives me 2.5 fill-ups. So it speeds up the process a little bit more. Could also grab two buckets if I wanted to, but I decided just to grab one for right now. So just do a mix up here. So need about a tablespoon or so of molasses for about every gallon. So I'm going to put in about 5 tablespoons. And so when I'm pouring, it takes about a second to pour a tablespoon. So I just count out about 5 seconds worth of pouring at kind of medium pouring ability here, or pouring speed here. So just going to go ahead and pour. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like about there is about right. There's no real, this is exactly how much you need per gallon. No, it's just kind of, just needs some. And it's a good amount, but not too much. Himalayan salt, put in, I don't know, maybe a teaspoon or so. So I'll dump some in there. It's probably enough for 5 gallons. Linardite, just need some, don't need a lot. So put in half a tablespoon or so. So I had to keep all my minerals in these little glass jelly jars. They work pretty good. They're all uniform and they stack nicely. And we don't need a whole lot of this, maybe a tablespoon or so should do the trick. So put that in there. Hey Spot, you gonna help? Okay, and then we'll just add some water here. So I got my hose. So I'm gonna move it around a bit, and as I'm filling it up to do the stirring action here. See, it's foaming up in there. Every time you see foam, you know there's kind of a nitrogen protein, really. It's really just protein that's causing the bubbles in there. And also the sugars too. Carbohydrates will kind of cause a little bit of foaming too. Okay, so not completely full, but 1.5 inches or so from the top, so it doesn't be overflowing here. And then I'll grab a stirring stick here. Paint stirrers work really well. I couldn't find any, so I just grabbed another stick that I had. It works pretty good. So kind of a back and forth motion is the best, and a little bit around the edges there, just to get it all in solution. You can change directions too. Main difficulty is the kelp that doesn't go into solution very well, but the chemicals in there and the hormones will leach out into the water here, so that's kind of the idea. Linardite takes a couple minutes for it to be reducing all the minerals into their or chelating is the appropriate term, chelating them into the reduced form. So I'll just stir it for a little bit here and until I get tired. And by the time I pour it into the watering can and get it out there, it should be fine. And each time I do a pour, I'll go ahead and stir before I do that, just to get whatever's settled to the bottom back in solution. Okay, so this watering can is one of the Bloom branded ones, and it had a very small hole in there and not very good for stirring or pouring stuff in. It's very problematic when you do that, so I took my pocket knife and extended it quite a bit here, so there's just a little bit of space up here that I left. So this one is fairly tight against the edge. I need to clean up this other edge at some point, but so this is the easiest way to pour in through here with a 5-gallon bucket. Oops, I need a little bit more here. There was all that foam in there, was a little deceptive. Okay. Oh, the first part of it is always hard. Just kind of have to go carefully. I was going to get a little spillage. Okay, so there's that. Spot. Okay. And so we're just pouring a little right around the base where the roots are. So this, we want to get this into the rhizosphere, which is the root zone. We don't need it all over the place, all over the whole bed. Just a little puddle in there, just enough to get it down to the roots without it just absorbing into the compost or mulch layer, just to get it past that. So sprinkling it on would not be advised. So anyway, that is the process that I go through every year here, and seems to be done it for maybe 3 or 4 years, and it seems to be working really well to get the plants established and going with it before they, get attacked by the sun or, other slugs and things like that, to get them really going quickly and not wilting or failing to get the nutrients they need. And so recommended. It's fairly inexpensive to get the kelp and the linardite. Takes a little bit up front to get going, but this is a good mix here. And if you wanted to, you could just use molasses. That would be a good place to start, and then some linardite would be a good additive in there. The sugars will feed the bacteria, so that's kind of like the main thing, and then the extra minerals are kind of a bonus in there. So if you need to, just do a solution, about a tablespoon of the molasses to a gallon. Works pretty good. And so anyway, hope that helps your garden out, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.